Hey guys, how are we doing? So we're back on another Swagkage video, and this is going to be interesting. This is cool because Zabuza is one of my favourite characters, and I think he's like highly regarded in the Naruto fandom. But he's one of those characters that like, is not really in it, the series. And I think the reason that most people like this character is because he is the first villain, and they did such a good job with him that he just is so memorable and just stays with you. The just like cool dude, cool character. Like a lot of emotional stuff going on as well with Aku and that, and his fight with Kakashi's. His fights with Kakashi were awesome as well, and the way he dealt with them was just amazing. He was so intimidating. He was brilliant, and everyone remembers him. Because, like I say, Naruto, the first volumes 1 to 28 of the manga was in the books collected. Incredible. And Zabuza started that off, and he is just awesome. And they had so much intrigue with him as well, because he set up little like side stories as well. Like he was one of the 7 ninja swordsmen of the Mist. And you're like, whoa, and then in the villa, you meet one of the other 7 ninja swordsmen, and then when the Akatsuki come along, and you've got Kasami, and he's one of the ninja swordsmen. It's like he set up little side stories that still carry on, so you still remembering him. It's anyway. I should do these discussion videos at some point, shouldn't I? Anyway. This is going to be interesting. I like Swagkage's opinion on these things. And this is how strong is Zabuza. Now, he was strong. He was strong. His sword was incredible. His abilities were amazing. And the school that he had to pass where he... Anyway, there. How strong is Zabuza?
Swagkage here, and welcome to today's video, where we're going to be taking a look at good old Zabuza and answering a question that I've been asked many times. How tough are you? Now, one thing that may surprise you, I know it surprised me when I started looking into this topic, is Zabuza's barely in the series.
Yeah, he's hardly in it.
He only shows up in 4 volumes, and he only really gets to fight in one of those volumes. In volumes 3 and 4, which focus on the fight that takes place on the Great Naruto Bridge, most of the action comes from Naruto and Sasuke's fight against Haku. Yep. Zabuza does engage Kakashi, and we do see it from time to time, but we don't get to see him do anything new here. He doesn't do anything distinctly different from all the stuff he showed off during his first encounter with Team 7. Then in volume 55, when Kabuto revives him with the Edo Tensei, he's dealt with really quickly, and I mean really quickly. He only gets to use one ninjutsu, the hidden mist jutsu, and he fights maybe 1 or 2 people in hand-to-hand combat. Even then, he doesn't really land any hits on anybody. He gets sealed pretty quickly, and then is almost immediately forgotten about. He does most of his fighting in volume 2, though the fight I have in mind is a pretty brief one. It's only about 3 chapters long, so I don't have a lot of reference material here. Zabuza is pretty intimidating during this fight. You can chalk it up to as many different factors as you want, but the fact still remains that he practically beats Kakashi here. If not for the interference from Naruto and Sasuke, there's a strong possibility that both Kakashi and Tazuna could have been killed, and this is pretty impressive considering it's Kakashi we're talking about. Of course, this Kakashi is much weaker than the one we see later in the series, but Zabuza still outplayed him and quickly trapped him in a water prison without much difficulty at all. Now, after Kakashi is freed from the water prison, Zabuza gets swept up pretty quickly, but to be fair, I think this is the result of him being shocked and overwhelmed by the bizarre powers of the Sharingan. I mean, you can see him slowly start to freak out as he struggles to understand what's going on, and it's this shock, combined with a bit of influence from Genjutsu, that keeps him from performing the giant vortex jutsu before Kakashi is able to do it himself. While that does make Zabuza's defeat seem a bit less embarrassing, it still leaves me in a weird situation where I have to use one short fight to judge what he's capable of. Now, based on his performance here, I'd say Zabuza is very powerful. Not overwhelmingly strong, of course. He's not going to compete with any of the members of the Akatsuki, but he certainly deserves a bunch of credit. Even at the beginning of part 1, Kakashi's no joke. As a matter of fact, during the search for Tsunade, Jiraiya even says that Kakashi's an obvious candidate for Hokage. So with that in mind, considering Zabuza was able to keep up with Kakashi fairly easily, it's safe to say that he's definitely either at the very tippity top of Jonin level, or somewhere in the bottom rung of Kage level. Outside of combat, there are a handful of other indicators that give us an idea of how strong Zabuza might be as well. The first example given is a story told in part by both Kakashi and Zabuza, wherein during one of the Hidden Mist Academy's graduation exams, Zabuza slaughtered every single one of his classmates. He killed over 100 potential genin, basically for no reason. He wasn't required to, he only had to kill one other person, but he still did it anyway just for fun. This says more about the potential that Zabuza had than it does about his actual full power, but still, it's pretty impressive regardless. I don't think any of the Leaf Genin would have been able to do the same thing. As a matter of fact, the only Genin that we see throughout all of Part 1 and Shippuden that I think would be capable of doing anything similar is Gaara. Another example can be seen during Sasuke's attack on the 5 Kage summit. Chojuro, who would later go on to become Mizukage, is clearly visibly shaken by the idea of fighting Sasuke, and the only reason given for this is because Sasuke was part of the team that took Zabuza out. Now, like with the last one, this isn't a direct indication of power, but it does show that Zabuza had a pretty widespread reputation, and it's still very impressive. The fact that one of the Mizukage's aides was afraid to fight somebody solely because that person was part of a team that beat Zabuza, I mean, it sort of speaks for itself. Now, of course, it's very possible that Zabuza's reputation made him sound a lot scarier than he actually was, but I don't think that means we should outright dismiss this. I think that this is definitely worth acknowledging, even as nothing more than a minor point. The last important statement regarding Zabuza's strength is that he was a member of the most powerful generation of the 7 Ninja Swordsmen of the Mist. Now, this isn't super important because it's impossible to tell how much Zabuza contributed to this notion on his own. For all we know, he could have had nothing to do with it. It could have been thanks to all of the other members of the 7 Ninja Swordsmen at the time, but I don't think that that's incredibly likely. Not that it really matters all that much anyway, since we don't know how strong an average member of the 7 Ninja Swordsmen of the Mist is supposed to be, but it is a vague indicator of Zabuza's ability, and it, along with everything else that I've mentioned so far, makes it pretty clear that he's not an average Jonin. By now I think I've made it pretty clear that it's a little difficult to precisely measure how strong Zabuza is, but in my opinion he's a decent bit weaker than Kakashi was at the beginning of the series. I don't think too many people will find that to be an outlandish claim, since he did lose both of his fights against Kakashi.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
But like I said earlier, since it is Kakashi we're talking about, his losses against him don't make him look that bad. Anyway, before I go, let me provide a bit of a closing statement about Zabuza. Okay. This isn't to say that he's weak or anything similar, but Zabuza's a ninja in every sense of the word. He's an assassin and a master of stealth, and is probably much more comfortable approaching combat like an actual ninja would than in the straightforward, over-the-top manner that many other Naruto characters do. So even though he may not have displayed some of the most impressive large-scale attacks in the series, it's hard not to respect the guy's skills as an assassin. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I think he's either at the very top of Jonin level or somewhere at the very bottom of Kage level. I think that with enough work and dedication, he could definitely become the Mizukage, but I doubt he'd be anywhere close to the most powerful one. Anyway, sorry for the short video. Like I said, there's not a whole lot of reference material.
Yeah, there's not much you can go on,
but a
so
lot
I
of
get
people
that.
have been asking for this video, so I figured I'd indulge them anyway. Anyway, that's gonna be all from me. Thanks as always for watching the video all the way to the end. Leave any requests or questions you have in the comments below. Make sure you have a great rest of the day, and until my next video, I'll talk to you later. Swagkage out. Bye.
And music? There you go. Yeah, that was the thing though. The 7 Ninja Swordsmen of the Mist, I was like, that's a cool concept. Awesome. And it just stayed with me throughout. I watched the filler, there was a member, which then turned out to be actual part of the 7 Ninja Swordsmen of the Mist, which was freaking cool. But to then find out that there were different generations of 7 Ninja of the Mist, well, 7 Ninja, it was kind of like, oh. Huh. Because I feel like if they just kept it as there were just 7 Ninja Swordsmen of the Mist, then that adds even more credibility to it. But when you go, there were different generations of these 7 Ninja Swordsmen of the Mist, it's like, not as big of a deal as it made out, but it was still cool. Zabuza really did, like, just love it. The concept of his sword as well, which didn't really come into it until, you didn't understand until he was reanimated, where it, like, the blood from your blood from the iron from your blood makes it larger, which is why the sword was so big. Then makes you go, whoa, he killed a lot of people with it. Yeah, Zabuza was incredible. You get people cosplaying him all the time. He's such a memorable character. Because he was there at the start, and they did such an amazing... Masashi Kishimoto did such a good job at creating an opening villain. And then having an emotional attachment with the whole Haku thing as well, and when they're dying on the bridge, and when he fights all those people on the bridge, and he's fighting all of them he's killing people with a kunai in his mouth, like with spears in his back. It's just like, it was incredible. It was so good, and very, very memorable. And he was strong, and But there you have it, though. That was how strong is Zabuza. Thank you, Swagkage, for the video. So yeah, I've seen that, love Zabuza, and just thought I wanted to check that out. So I'll get back onto his versus videos next, I promise, because you guys have been suggesting those, and I feel like you guys probably go, oh, why is he ignoring my suggestions? I don't. It's just as soon as I see something, I'm like, oh, I want to watch that. I check that out, and I keep you guys' suggestions in mind. Don't worry. So thank you guys very much for watching. What did you guys think of that? What did you guys think of this? Click like, subscribe if you haven't already. Leave comments down below. Let me know what I should watch and discuss in future videos. I'll see you guys, just all of you guys, next time.